Welcome, welcome, welcome to yet another beautiful day of our new beginning of our wonderful, soulful mornings. Welcome, one and all, for our session. Let's start the beautiful day by closing our eyes. Let's go inward and pray and thank to our masters, angels, divine beings, who are protecting us, guarding us, guiding us in this inward journey every morning, who are here to know that we all are seekers. And in this human life of ours, knowing that we are spiritual beings, we all gathered here to connect deep within and to witness the divine synchronicities that are happening in our life. To know that we all are being guided at all given point of time at a daily level. To know that all the magical beings in this amazing August, when the portals are open, are here to guide us, to protect us, to secure us. And whatever decisions we take, we are merely becoming channels of the right knowledge, of the right essence. Let's be grateful to our parents for giving us identity. To all our grandparents and ancestors above who have given us who we are, the foundation of our very being. And let's fold our hands, rub them together, feel the energy, bless our eyes, bless our face, bless our body, and start the beautiful morning. Welcome, 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 one and all, for these spiritual mornings. We are reading this beautiful book by Dr. Brian Weiss. It's called Messages from the Masters. It's in front of you. So yesterday we began a regression therapy wherein Dr. Weiss took his prodigy or the TV journalist in a session while it was being recorded with the media around, and how she beautifully taps into her childhood memory and prenatal memory when she was in her mother's womb while being delivered, and a lot more. And right now she's in conversation in her trance state with doctor, and she's talking about her life, that how she is living in a ranch, how she is who she is, and that she's not married. And this is another life of this journalist. Andrea is a name, and we're talking about that past life. Let's continue our learnings from that, and let's read it here. So she's very, very competent. She's made her own ranch. She has employees and is very capable. This was difficult for a woman of those times too. She must be very strong. Let's go to the end of her life now, to the very last day, the very last moments. If it is at all uncomfortable, you can float above it. But if not, stay with it. On the count of 3, let it all come into focus. The very last day of that life. 1, 2, 3. Be there. Go ahead to that and see what's happening and if anyone is around. Andrea seemed very calm. There's nothing exciting. She's just very peaceful. She's old. Nobody is left anymore. But she's okay, Andrea added. She's had a very good life and she's not sick. She looks okay. She's just old. She's got a white dress with a high neckline. She's sitting there just looking out, looking just sitting on the porch. Is that where she dies? I think so. Just float above now, above, leave that old body. You'll feel so light and free as your spirit floats above. Perhaps you can look down and see her body there below. And then, feeling so free and so light, review that life, the lessons that she learned, that you learned. What did you learn? What did she learn? She learned not to be afraid of being alone. She learned to take care of herself. Andrea answered from a higher perspective. Yes, to be independent, I observed. Very independent. She really liked her life. People made fun of her because she never got married and she never had children. She never seemed to care. The people in the community liked her. They stopped making fun of her later in life. People liked working for her. She had lots of cattle. In this floating state now, see if you become aware of what happens next. You've left the body, you're floating. What happens next? What do you become aware of? I'm going up and she's getting smaller. I'm just floating. I'm just in a blue light. I'm just floating. Good. Feeling okay, no more illness, not old, just floating. Your consciousness goes on. What happens next? Or do you just stay floating? There are just rays of blue light and they are coming above the left side of my head. But it's a big cone of blue light and I can't see beyond the cone. Again, a long period of silence followed. Is there anything more? I finally asked, wanting to know more about the cone of blue light. No. Okay, are you ready to come back now? Andrea nodded. Good. Make the connections before you come back, before her life on the prairie and her independence and not yours. Television cameras or not, Andrea was learning some very important lessons. She quietly processed her new data, then she smiled broadly. I really like her. That's great. You have a lot of strength. You've carried that over. That is very good. And also, you know, that's your brother is back. So death is not what it seems. People come back. I missed him so much, Andrea. Another twinge of sadness crossed her face. I know, I answered. But she still became very strong and independent. Relationships are very important. Independence is too when they're balanced. And he's back. And this time, even though it was a little precarious when he was an infant, he lived this time. So you could be reunited. That's how souls work and love works. We're always being united. So let go of any sadness or fears of loss that way. We always come back together again and again. Remember also the love and the proud obnoxiousness of your father, the love of your mother coming into this life with you again. The recognition that was there, they were on the prairie too. The happiness of the snow and your dog, your father and his parka, all of that love that you've carried through in this life, there you've managed to have relationships and independence and strength and love. And you balanced it all, and you've balanced it all. You've done all of these in a wonderful balance. That's wonderful. So feeling her strength and independence and your ability to make really good relationships, bring all of this positive thought and feeling back with you. At this point, after digesting all of this information and experiencing so many emotions, Andrea looked tired and decided to awaken her. She'd learned enough for this day. In a few moments, I'm going to awaken you by pressing upward on your forehead at a point between your eyebrows. When I press upwards, you can open your eyes and you will be awake. You'll be alert and in full control of body and mind, feeling wonderful, feeling great, lighter, as if a load has been lifted off your shoulders because the sadness from losing the brother of that time will be gone now. You know he's back. And feeling so peaceful, so relaxed, and yet in full control. When I press upwards, you can awaken completely. I pressed upwards on Andrea's forehead, and she slowly awakened. Take your time and come all the way back. You did fine. How do you feel? Pooped, she says. Pooped, I repeated, empathizing with her. I became aware that I was tired too. My concentration had remained strongly focused. It's intense, a lot of work. Was it what you expected? I didn't know what to expect. I never expected to see my brother. I thought I'd see maybe one of my daughters, but she wasn't there. I felt like I was being pulled to another time, a different life, but I couldn't get there. I just couldn't get there. I could see where it was, but I couldn't get there. A third place. Yeah, I couldn't get there. Do you know what that time was? No, it was before the prairie lifetime, but I just couldn't get there. It was like there was this stream of blue light, but it was a pure cone and it just ended. Like the first one where it was completely surrounding me and I just suddenly saw feet. This one was, I could see the edge of the light and you could tell where it had just stopped. It was dark on the outside. It was like someone had taken a cone and put it over me. It ended and it was like right there. Apparently, Andrea could glimpse the other past life, perhaps a lifetime with her daughter, but she could not navigate past the brilliant blue light. It's just to let you know that it's there, but it wasn't for now. That's okay. It's there too, and you've had connections with your daughters, I'm sure also. But you found your brother, not that you expected. That one of the characteristics of this, you don't always get what you expect. That was a surprise, but apparently there was some sadness. Andrea immediately conquered. It was such a surprise because it's such a happy lifetime this time. My brother and I are very close, but of all the kids, he's the one who got sick right after he was born. But I didn't expect to see his face. And the intensity of the emotion is very powerful because it's right there and it's so real. You could feel the sadness, you could feel the separation, but when you were 7 or 8 in this life, you felt the positive emotion of walking with your father, which was it was a great memory, she interrupted. Yes, that's a great memory, I agreed. Andrea's eyes seemed to glaze over. She once again recalled the childhood scene. I could feel the wind on my face. I could remember the snowflakes. I could see it all. I could remember every bend and those street lights. I'd forgotten them. I think we remember everything, I added. So this is one way to remember that kind of detail, that feeling of snowflakes, the bend of the road, how your feet felt, all of those feelings is more than emotion, physical sensations too. So everything I talked about, I'll remember. And then more. Sure, you remember more. For example, I let you linger a while with the birth thing. I couldn't get out of her, and you remembered. It was dark, it was a long tube, and I couldn't get out of her. Remember, this is the memory when she's about to be born, and the darkness is what she's seeing when she's in the mother's womb, about to come out in Mother Earth. So doctor nudges her and tells her, you were taking longer there. I thought you were out. That was the darkness you encountered. You just weren't born yet. But you remembered a man coining into the next bed to have sex with his wife who had just delivered a baby. And that was vivid to you. And yet you were just born yourself. That was interesting too. And that kind of detailed memory would come to you. My mother was not happy, and repeated once again. I know. She turned me away. She turned me. Andrea was remembering even more details now. Even though awake now, she could still recall the hospital scene. She would probably have left the room if she was stronger, I added. Andrea snapped back to the present time. Is there a norm for a first time? Andrea asked, returning to her role as a reporter. Perhaps about 50% will have some sort of memory. But yours was so vivid, so intense for the first time that it would be like in the upper 15 or 20%. Only about 15% of the people can do that. And this technique could work for you at many different levels, not just memories. I added you can learn to control your body. For example, if you needed to lower your blood pressure, you could probably do it this way without medicine. Fall asleep like that. I said, snapping my fingers. You could have gone like that. You can use it for physical reactions, for health reasons. If there were phobias, you could find a cause and get rid of them. There were some places I've traveled where I've always thought I've been before. The West is one of them. Russia is another. Even after the television cameras were turned off and the recording ceased, Andrea remained in a calm state, musing about her experiences during the regression. He was killed by a long gun, by a rifle, not a pistol. She's talking about her brother, John, in this life, who was also a brother in that life. And as a kid, he was killed. And even though Andrea is out of a regression, she remembers everything as clearly as she'd seen in the regression session, even after coming out of it. And that is what happens with past life regression. It's not like you see it and you forget it. Right now, when I'm reading this book and talking to you, in the back of my mind, all the past lives that I have seen are coming so vividly and strongly that I can't even let you know how I'm feeling. So it's like, you've seen a movie and you really like the movie, for example, made a difference to you. Now, that is the kind of reaction and impact you will see years later. Yeah, I saw this, I saw this. And your past lives come to you as a movie. Now, if you see what Dr. Weiss said, past life regression is not just for fun of it, that, why am I seeing it? Okay, it's another life. People go into regression for physical level, cellular level healing also. Say if somebody has diabetes, somebody has, say, thyroid, like simple lifestyle diseases that we call, right? But in past lives, you can find out why you have that. And within seconds, you can shake it off. Some people are holding on to weight. Some people have physical ailments like, knee pain, back pain, this, that. Some people have emotional, mental connection problem like relationships. So all this really helps. Regression really helps. But anyways, back to what Andrea is telling Dr. Weiss. She's saying he was killed by a long gun, by a rifle, not a pistol. She was adding details. People undergoing regressions are aware of hundreds of details, many more than they simply during the questioning while they were immersed in the trance state. Remembering the childhood and past life experiences, she continued to reflect, to remember. When John was born in this life, he was jaundiced. The nurses came to take him for treatments, and my mother said to him, I'll probably never see him again. He probably is going to die. But when her mother had handed the newborn son to the nurses, she began to detach somewhat from her baby, in a sense preparing for his death. Although she loved him very much, this guarding of her emotions existed even after John gained strength and his health dramatically improved. In a sense, her mother was already always anticipating the death of this child. In case of newborn jaundice, which is fairly common, the liver chemical bilirubin is temporarily elevated, causing jaundice or a yellowing of the skin. Putting the baby in natural light or under lamps and certain light frequency is usually enough to break down the excess bilirubin and restore the skin to normal. As the liver matures, the jaundice is entirely cured. The whole healing process may take only a few days or a week or two. Andrea's mother overreacted to her son's newborn jaundice. As a wife of a doctor, she must have realized that John's life was not in jeopardy. According to Andrea, John was always aware of his mother's reserve, although he had no understanding of why he was singled out this way. Now, the question Andrea asked is, do you see the connection? Dr. Weiss asked Andrea. So if you remember from yesterday, John had died, right? So this is what she's saying, that because the mother knows that her son is, and the same parents, she's born again to the same parents, same brother has come in another yet life. So the mother, at an emotional, etheric level, still knows that my son died. So even in this life, when he's born, she's kind of detached herself from him. And then John and all his life is thinking, why is mama singled me out? Because the mama is carrying trauma from the last life of separating with her son, separating because of death. So do you see the connection? I asked Andrea. Your mother was also John's mother in this prairie lifetime last century. He was killed then. She lost him. When he came back as her infant son in this life and then developed jaundice, she remembered the previous loss. Perhaps she didn't remember consciously, but emotionally or subconsciously, she did remember. So she protected herself by keeping her emotions in check. She couldn't bear to lose him again. She really believed he was fragile, like before, and that he would leave her again. Andrea was ready to burst with excitement. Her regression explained the relationship between her mama and her younger brother. She now knew the real roots of her mother's behavior and her brother's reaction to the protective barrier that his mother had erected in case she lost him again. Andrea would explain everything to them. But do you realize this? हमारी लाइफ में रिलेशनशिप्स में प्रॉब्लम आती है, लाइक somebody's not understanding us and we're wondering कि सब कुछ तो सही चल रहा है, बट ये रिलेशनशिप रॉन्ग क्यों चल रहा है? कहीं ना कहीं subconsciously in our emotional body, maybe in our etheric body, maybe in our mental body, we have memories of the past. And that is the reason why it is happening like this. Here, Andrea's mother created a protective barrier of like saving herself. Then she became emotionally not so available in this life. But let's understand that we as humans also hold on or create some protection layers. If there is body weight on us, it is not because of our lifestyle only or the food that we eat. I do not know how many of you know there are people who eat and eat and eat and are so Ricky thin. And there are people who just don't eat, but they're so fat. And then those kind of people also say, हमें तो पानी भी लग जाता है. Now what they're saying, what they're affirming is happening in their body. But also, they are protecting themselves from something because weight is nothing but a protection layer on the body. Weight means a person becomes bigger. They're more layers, they're more layers. And these layers are protection layers. But the minute somebody falls in love with themselves, these layers just start to peel away. Then it's an effortless process of weight loss. And that, of course, is another story. I have a beautiful book for this for people to understand. Maybe we'll start that book as a separate session for ones who are struggling with weight, maybe in September, because I've been a bit busy this particular month. Life is so beautiful, and these books open up so much for all of us. And this is what we need to understand. Going further into our studies with Dr. Weiss this morning, from the many regressions I have facilitated and studied, Andrea's was a classical one, filled with healing memories, intense emotions, and vivid recollection of details. Moreover, she possessed a superconscious ability to learn the lessons of her past lifetimes and to connect them to the lessons of her current life. The television segment never aired. An executive at the network feared that because the piece was so vivid, so emotional, Andrea might compromise her credibility as an objective reporter. Thus, millions of people were deprived of the chance to learn more about the nature of life, about how we are all connected and responsible for each other, about the horrors and devastation of killing and how the effects of violence spills over into our subsequent lifetimes. After Andrea made the connection between her brother's past life and her mother's current life fears, she grew silent. I could see that she was still contemplating, still experiencing the intense feelings the regression had triggered. I too grew silent. This was a private time for her, and I did not want to interview her further in front of her television colleagues. Often these experiences can be both intense and transcendent. Too personal to share. So I simply looked at her radiant face. I was filled with great compassion for the individual besides me, and my heart was lifted. My own consciousness began to shift. The hot, crowded room faded away. The traffic noises, sirens, and constant background chatter of human voices ceased. I was no longer completely aware of my body. I became aware of a beautiful light in the periphery of my vision. A voice whispered at the borders of my mind. At the extreme edge of my awareness, I believe it was a master. When you look at another person in relationship, in therapy, in life, see their soul through lifetimes and eons of time, not just the transitory physical being across from you. You too are such a soul. The voice spoke softly and lovingly and with deep compassion. This was advice, not criticism. I gazed gently back at Andrea. Seeing both her and the frontier girl, I knew she had many lifetimes, many other names, but her soul was always the same. I needed to see that part of people which remains constant, their souls, not their transitory physical forms. To really understand and to help them and also to help myself, for I too am such a soul. You are as well. So, you know, every soul has one quality. It may change the way you look, the way you talk, the way you walk, what country you live in, what parents you are, your values, but a particular value, a particular essence in the soul is always there. And a soul is always, always, always guided by masters, by angels, by guardians. जैसे in our life we have mentors, no? कि मुझे suppose business का issue है तो मैं इस इंसान से बात करूंगी, या मुझे suppose nutrition का issue है तो मैं इस इंसान से बात करूंगी, या मुझे relationships का issue है तो मैं इससे बात करूंगी. We all have elders, mentors, friends or family or people that we've chosen who are a fallback system. कि जब problem आए तो इनसे बात कर लो. इसी तरीके से our souls always have guidance directly from the source, directly from master, directly from angel, guardians, guides, whatever we call them. जिसमें भी हमारी आस्था है, right? So it's very important to go inwards, to understand, and for all of us to realize that in this amazing August where the portals are open, especially to the Lion's Gate, of which is 8/8, which is coming up very, very soon, we all have this time to burn, you know, like physically burn, or to let go and drop off any of the vices that we are holding on. For example, I have used this example prior also, and I'm again repeating myself. For example, if one of us or many of us are indisciplined, कि हाँ session करना है, and but you know I can't wake up in the morning. पहले सेशंस 5 to 6 होते थे, तब तो हम उठ जाते थे, but अब 6 to 7 में थोड़ा आलस आ रहा है because we out of practice. देखती हूँ करना है नहीं करना, या मुझे बुक पढ़नी है, करनी तो है लेकिन स्टार्ट तो करी कि हाँ हाँ रोज 10 पेज करूंगी, ये ना 10 दिन तक चला, उसके बाद आई लॉस्ट. एंड या वेट के लिए, या यू नो किसी हैबिट फॉर्मेशन के लिए. व्हाई इज इट हैपनिंग? बिकॉज देयर इज लैक ऑफ डिसिप्लिन. Now, if there's lack of discipline, obviously you want to be disciplined. What do? हमें अपने आप से कॉन्वर्सेशन करनी है, जो मैंने कल भी बोला था. Up until now, I was indisciplined, but now I embrace and I'm willing to become disciplined. So अगर मैं बोलती हूँ एक affirmation कि I am disciplined, no harm in that, लेकिन मुझे कहीं ना कहीं emotional body में contradict करेगा, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि मैं तो कोई काम शुरू करता हूँ या करती हूँ और मैं खत्म नहीं कर पाता because of XYZ reasons. कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है और मैं फिनिश नहीं कर पाता. तो अब जब मुझे फिनिश करना है तो मुझे अपने आप को बोलना कि अब मैं रेडी हूँ, तैयार हूँ, विलिंग हूँ to become disciplined. I'm learning to become disciplined here and now. So इससे बॉडी में जो डायलॉग आ रहा है, दिस इज बिलीवेबल, बिकॉज हाँ मुझ में आई एम सक्षम, मुझ में कैपेबिलिटी है टू डू इट. And then the body responds very beautifully. Again, I said, in this portal of manifestation and surrender, if you want to manifest something, whatever emotions you're feeling, they get culminated. So अगर मेरे emotions में contradiction है, तो वो culminate होगा. But अगर मेरे emotions में है कि yes, and सबसे important बात, let's not judge ourselves. जो हुआ वो हुआ. Up until now, जो भी consciousness थी उसकी वजह से हुआ. We all know that we are the reason. There's a lot of love inside us. तभी हमारे सेल्स जुड़े हुए, तभी हमारे बॉडी पार्ट जुड़े हुए हैं, तभी we are together, तभी हम बहुत कुछ कर पाते हैं. So love, that attraction is there, which between two molecules, two atoms at the cellular level. So there is love is the basic foundation. हमारा basic foundation love है. So if we love to do something or we want to do something, all we will tell ourselves is that I am willing to change. I'm willing to forgive what happened in the past. I trust life. I know I'm safe. I love and approve of myself, and I am ready to become the better version of myself from now. The minute you say up until now, you finish the past. You've like cut off. वो past में था गया. And from now, I'm willing to become disciplined. It starts. The journey starts. And that, of course, is going to happen. But soul level पे आपको अपने आप को समझना है. We don't know ना हमारे soul ने क्या क्या ups and downs देखे हैं life में. Not all of us have done physical past life regression or future life regression. I'm not sure how many of you are even aware of it. And abhi to nahi, today's day 3 only. In a couple of days, I'm going to be inviting one of my teachers who has helped me from 2016 into past life regression. So those of us who want to do it, we will be doing this with her online, and we can understand how regression can work. And of course, jinko personal sessions karne hain, there's so many regressionists across the country. Whoever has credibility, please go, right? And this will, of course, be done after talking to you all, planning the right time, not just like spontaneously. Back to the book. Many of my patients who have recalled distant memories, similar to Andrea's, have experienced a dramatic diminishing or even the disappearance of their chronic symptoms. So chronic symptoms भी dramatically खत्म nullify हो जाते हैं. Example दे रहे हैं Dr. Weiss. I regressed a 50-year-old South American woman who suffered from profound claustrophobia, a fear of being trapped in small or enclosed places. She had been afflicted with the phobia since her early childhood. In the regression, she remembered being entombed alive. She was an Egyptian slave whose owner, a relative of the pharaoh, had died. It was the custom for some slaves to be buried alive with the nobles so that they could serve him in the afterlife. The slaves were given a poison to ingest before they suffocated in the small enclosed interior of the burial tomb. After their memory, her claustrophobia disappeared and has never returned. Can you imagine? एक past life में उसको poison दिया गया था to be buried alive with her master, because Egyptians में आपको पता है ना, with all the wealth and everything, they just bury कि भाई after life में सब कुछ बढ़िया रहेगा. So she was a slave who was buried, and that's why उसको घुटने का डर लगता था. हमारे सेशंस में भी जब मैंने पहले करा हुए लाइफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन सीरीज में या संडे रिफ्लेक्शंस में, देयर हैव बीन पीपल नाउ दे अंडरस्टैंड कि मुझे छिपकली से डर क्यों लगता है, क्योंकि पहले ऐसे हो चुका है. देयर वाज अ लेडी, शी वाज राधिका, शी वाज इन अ बैच इन लाइफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन 1 and 2. उसको रियलाइज हुआ कि व्हेन शी वाज फुल टर्म प्रेग्नेंट इन वन लाइफ, छिपकली आ गई, उसको देखकर थोड़ा सा घबरा गई. शी फेल डाउन एंड शी लॉस्ट द बेबी. So उसको छिपकली से इस लाइफ में भी डर लगता है. There's another person, I forgot her name. She was an African in the past life. So, and she was an African jungle queen. So she realized कि मुझे इतना अफ्रीका से प्यार क्यों है, मुझे इतना जंगल से प्यार क्यों है. So if we have some kind of a good thing or a bad thing, it's not just because of this life. We wonder कि मुझे ऐसा क्यों है. कई लोग family पैदा होते हैं and they know chants and everything because they've had that journey. Some people are born talented with, like, say, they're artists because they've been artists in a prior life. So हम जो कुछ सीखते हैं, आज भी हम जो सीख रहे हैं इस life में about past life or whatever we are making our better versions, ये हम लेकर पैदा होंगे next life में. So पढ़ाई, अध्यात्म या learning या growth never stops. Progression is the skill. इस लाइफ के बाद, डेथ के बाद, फिर लाइफ के बाद, फिर डेथ. That's how life goes. It's a circle. It's a vicious circle. So let's understand what is the correlation. Now, what is the mechanism of this clinical improvement? I believe there are at least 2 explanations, although other factors are assured also at work. In my experience, the recall of repressed or forgotten traumatic, often painful memories is often associated with healing. Recalling those events with the associated emotions, called catharsis or abreaction in clinical terms, is a cornerstone of psychoanalysis and other traditional psychotherapies. The very act of bringing such buried memories into consciousness is extremely helpful. My findings indicate that the therapeutic arena needed to be enlarged, but we cannot stop the psychic archaeology at childhood or even infancy. But that past life patterns and memories also must be excavated for complete healing to occur. So जो traumatic चीजें होती हैं, कई लोग उसको, जब regression में जाते हैं, they get scared कि ये क्यों मुझे दर्द हो रहा है, ऐसा क्यों मुझे फीलिंग आ रही है. They try to shake it off. But वो trauma body में आज भी है. वो painful memory से आज भी हम associate करते हैं. And वो इसलिए आ रही है because उनको heal होने की जरूरत है. जब वो heal हो जाएगा, you will find a phenomenal development in your being. So it's very, very important for us to remember that. The second reason that these memories promote clinical improvement is that as we experience ourselves in other bodies and in ancient times, as we watch our many deaths and rebirths, we are filled with the sure and unerring realization that we are eternal souls, not just individual body. We never really die. We merely change our level of consciousness because our loved ones are immortal too. We are never really separated from them. This realization of our true spiritual nature is a powerful healing force. Andrea realized now that the brother who had died, who she loved, came back in this life as a brother. The love was multiplied many folds. Everybody is back, Papa is back, Mama is back. And ये Andrea के साथ ही नहीं होता. आप सबको पता होगा, एक सोल फैमिली होती है सबकी. वो ऑलमोस्ट लगभग प्लान करते हैं. Suppose if I am deciding to reincarnate on earth, so my soul family will plan with me कि प्राची तुम इस life में प्राची बन के जा रही हो. I will go like 50 years before you, 20 years before you, and I will be your father. I will come 20 years after you. I will be your daughter. I will come with you. I will be your best friend. I will come a little before you. I will be your husband or wife. They plan to come on Mother Earth at the same time. Same time means same lifetime. When, before, after, exit, you can't say. But so you always, always, always meet your loved ones. Just as each facet of a diamond mirrors the whole, Andrea's regression experience reflects the major themes of this book. She recalled memories and feelings from a fetal state before she was actually born. She was aware of her parents' emotions, demonstrating that consciousness is not local, not limited to our physical bodies or brains. This alone implies that when we die, our consciousness survives and goes on, since it is not physically based. Of course, memories of dying in past lives and of what happens after death also confirm the continuing existence of consciousness. Andrea, for example, was able to observe the old woman's body that she had just vacated. आपको अगर ध्यान हो, एंड्रिया जब born हुई थी, तभी भी उसको याद है इस लाइफ में, पास्ट लाइफ के टाइम पे, कि वो आदमी अपनी just delivered wife के साथ क्या कर रहा था, and mother was feeling bad. So क्यों है ऐसा? Because consciousness is always there. You may be a 1-hour-old baby, but you're fully conscious. Your past memories are there. That is why जब छोटे बच्चे पैदा होते हैं, oftentimes you'll find them smiling, नींद में सो रहे होते हैं, because they're connected and remembering the old memories. Andrea was able to recall incidents that happened mere moments after her birth in this lifetime. Infants and young children are aware of so much more than we suspect. They're aware of our emotions as well as our actions, the flow of our loving feelings and thoughts to them before and after birth, nourishing their souls and is vital for healthy development. Through memories recalled during her regression, Andrea learned how past lives, sorry, just give me a second. Andrea learned how past life and perinatal events can profoundly influence current life connections. Andrea found her current parents and brother in her past life memory. She learned that we are always reunited with the loved ones. Sometimes a reunion occurs on the other side, in other dimensions. Sometimes the reunion takes place in a future lifetime together back here on Earth. She was able to discern which values in life are important and which are unimportant or even damaging. She learned about the pain that guns and violence can cause, for every life is precious. After she died in a lifetime on the Great Plains, Andrea found a cone of beautiful blue light. There are many other descriptions, both later in this book and in other sources, of people encountering beautiful and replenishing light after leaving their bodies. This encounter occurs during NDEs. What are NDEs? Near-death experiences. आपने कई लोगों को सुना होगा कि they were almost dead and they come back. There's also the story within my own family. One of the dadijis, she died for 2 hours. And families को बुला लिया गया कि भाई आज ही करना है इनका. सब बैठे हैं, पूजा वूजा हो रहा है to send her off, and she gets up. And then she talks everything about what has happened in those 2 hours. And ये आपने भी या तो बुक्स में पढ़ा होगा या लोगों को देखा होगा. These happen. This is true. कई लोग बोलते हैं ना मैं मर के वापस आ गया. When they're really sick or something happens. And apparently after death as well. A loved relative or friend or a spiritual being is often waiting at the light to greet the out-of-body traveler and to impart important information or messages. So it's very important for us to understand that life is a continuous flow. Death होने के बाद भी हमारे ancestors wait कर रहे होते हैं हमारे लिए. So that जब हम उठें dead feeling से उस feeling में जहाँ heaven में जाते हैं, जिस realm में जाते हैं, so हमें वहाँ भी mentors immediately मिल जाते हैं जिनको हम जानते हैं. It's really beautiful. I have personally seen it in a session with my brother. I lost him in 2018. And uski regression, when I was in regression, and I was talking to him that this was not path of regression. This is a soul progression, soul se connection jo karte hain. And he explained how my father-in-law and our common Tauji were waiting for Rishi when he got off because he died when he was sick in a hospital. He was 34. So obviously it was a lot of trauma that he was storing in his body. So how those people helped him. It was beautiful to understand from him how it worked. And then these beautiful books kept unfolding in front of me about them. And I read them and I was like, yeah, this is what he told me. So we all possess intuitive abilities far beyond what we realize. As you integrate the stories, experiences, exercises in this book, you will be able to hone your intuitive perceptions and receive information messages more directly. Some of you will later become healers for others. You know, aap ye soul ki journey mein hai, it's not just that you're just here in the mornings and you're just book reading. There is a purpose. At the soul level, you want to understand what is your purpose. And जब आप ये sessions करेंगे, रोज magics miracles पढ़ेंगे, you will start believing in your intuitive psychic healing abilities. You will start getting messages and you will say, yes, I know this message is coming from my soul. पहले आप उसको ऐसे कर लेते कि अरे ये ऐसी thought आया इसमें, लेकिन doubt भी आ गया ego का. अब there will be a cellular level change in you. So this book reading will at least go on for 90 days, right? Minimum. So 90 days is a huge long period for us to change our thoughts, our processes, our being. No matter how young or old we are, change is the only constant and you are 100% going to change. Your relationships with yourself, with others will change. Your relationship with food will change. Your relationship with ego will change. A lot of magics are going to unfold and I'm waiting to hear about them. I know isi session mein, I mean, any sessions mein, future mein, you will be sharing your reflections. This is what happened to me because you'll be aware of them. It's a very beautiful feeling. Coming to the energy of love, which pervades and unifies Andrea's entire regression. Her parents' love, her love for her brother, the reunion with loved ones, even the cone of blue light felt very warm, comforting, loving. She later confided in me. Andrea's experience of this energy in several of its manifestations will allow her to express her own love more openly and completely in her current life and relationships. She will also be more comfortable in accepting the love of others because love flows both ways. encompassing both giving and receiving. And just to add a point to this, the more you give, the more you get. So if you give a lot of love, you will get a lot of love. That's how it is. Bina diye kuch milta nahi hai. That is a thumb rule. Even when you give forgiveness, that's when you forget. So give and get. नहीं तो कभी नहीं भूलते, because you're never being able to forgive, and वो क्या होता है, अंदर गांठें बनती जाती हैं, and they become blockages. What happens to blockages? Blockages manifest as a dis-ease in the body. And then what happens? You're sick. And then what happens? You go to doctors and you take medication. But actually what you do? Entangle. Sab gaanthon ko kholna hai. How? By forgiveness. Why? Because he did what he did at his soul level with his consciousness. And I am maybe the bigger one, more a channel of love, and I am ready to forgive and forget. Such an understanding is a sacred step. Such steps are accompanied by positive changes in the present life, better physical and emotional health, healthier relationships, and more happiness and joy. And as you share the experiences of people you will meet in this book and ponder the messages of the masters and consider my stories and reflections, I hope that you too will be walking these steps to wisdom. Once you begin, you will approach the obstacles and frustrations in your life with more patience and calm. Though understanding your past lessons and debts, you will remember your goals for the current life. You will feel fulfilled and no longer confused or lost. You will learn to overcome fear, anxiety, and you will live your life more fully in the present moment, and you will enjoy its pleasures more completely. Above all, you will understand what we all have in common. We are beyond life and death, beyond space and beyond time. We are all immortal and we exist throughout eternity. Isn't this a beautiful reminder? Not that we didn't know about this. Some of us knew, but we didn't believe. But here, we are kind of getting validations that, yeah, this is happening. So it's really beautiful. Tomorrow, we will start this beautiful chapter number 3, coming back on day number 4. Now it's time for our reflections. So, or before that, we can meditate. And if whoever wishes, they can leave, right? So let's first meditate. My meditations for these 8 days, 1st to the 8th of August, will a lot be about manifestation and will a lot be about surrendering. So please keep your mind and your body and your heart open to accept and to let go, right? Okay, everybody. Let's sit down straight. If possible, straighten your backs. For those of you who are doing the morning routines or you're on a walk or something, please do not meditate. You can listen to it, but don't meditate. Because those who are sitting should meditate, because we are talking about manifestation and surrender. So your back straight is a beautiful idea. And at this given point of time, if you can switch on your cameras, it's even more beautiful, because we would be blessing each other. All right. So let's start. Our backs completely straight, because we know that the energy flows from the root chakra, the base of the back, spine, to the top of the head. That's the crown chakra, Sahasrara chakra. That's the reason we like to make our back straight. Eyes gently closed. Hands comfortably placed on your legs or your thighs. They could be joined, they could be in the Gyan Mudra, whichever position you feel it's comfortable, or they could be just facing palms open, facing the heavens above. Whatever is comfortable in a bodily posture to you. Remember, the posture is most important. If you're sitting awkwardly, you will lose your balance and you may want to change your position. By meditation, it's beautiful to let the body just be by just keeping the back straight. So to ease out any possible tension. Just see if you can become a little more comfortable in your posture. Your legs can be maybe placed on the floor. Your feet can be on the floor if you're in a chair, or you could cross-leg your legs like in lotus pose. Whatever is comfortable. Or some of you may like to sit with the legs in front, as if in an L shape, whatever suits you. And now, let's deeply start breathing. Take a deep breath in. Allow the breath to be held in your tummy. Hold it. And very gently, deeply start exhaling. Slowly, gently, no rush. Again, if possible, hold the breath outside and take a deep breath in by inflating your tummy like a big balloon. Feel the stomach becoming bigger. Keep enlarging. Now start the process of releasing. Gently see your stomach deflating as if there's no air in the balloon. And now, as you exhale, once again, hold the breath outside and take a deep breath in. Feel the enlargement. It's as if you're expanding on a conscious level. And again, exhale. And as you exhale, start taking out all negativity that is stored, which you know about or which you don't know about, into your physical body, mental body, energy body. Take a deep breath in and fill your body with lots of positive blessings and energy. Remember, the divinity is around us, blessing us, guarding us, protecting us at this given juncture. And as you exhale, whatever trauma or negativity is stored is releasing, is exhaling, is getting out of your body through with your breath work. Keep inhaling the positivity and keep exhaling the negativity at your own pace. One can start with 4 counts of holding, 4 of breathing, expansion, 4 of holding, and 4 of releasing. Make it 6, make it 7, whatever you're comfortable with, make it 8. Do not go unnaturally there. Just keep practicing the breath in, holding, slow, gentle exhale, holding. Bright energy, bright white light coming in, flooding our body with a lot of positivity. And all the dark light, which we can't even see through, just simply leaves our body as we exhale out. Here, you're preparing your body for all the positive blessings and for detoxing by purging out all the negativity. In this beautiful phase of manifestation and surrender, let's understand, where are we at this juncture? Try and mentally make a note of all the challenges that you have. Take a minute or two and see, at this given point, time and space, which challenge is the most important one which you want to sort out. It could be that you are facing with multiple problems. But right now, let's put our energy into one. And now, we know the challenge. We also know that we have a master. Our soul is guided by masters. So with the help of our soul, let's tune into the master's frequency and ask our master for the solution of how we can surmount the obstacles of this challenge that we are currently facing. And now, whatever answer is percolating, whatever answer is coming to you, this answer is the right answer. Let's not doubt it. Let's flow in love. After the meditation is over and our eyes are open, you can journal about this question and this challenge and this answer and the solution that you got. And now mentally make a note of what alternatives or what solutions have you received. So you had a question and you have an answer. Now comes the time to implement it. Remember, implementation is a key for success. So today being the day 3, the number of creation, let's create our to-do list, our solution list. What efforts am I going to take to create this solution for my life and for the challenge to become already challenged, and for me to get the perfect solution answer in my life at this given point. Whatever the challenge is, could be very small, could be very big. And tell yourself, from this moment on, I am willing to change and follow these beautiful new solutions which I have been just given divinely. And tell yourself, I will do it every day. So even if the solution requires, the practice requires, say 10 minutes a day, encourage yourself by saying, I will at least do 2 minutes of it every day, so that we are creating this muscle memory in our body of a particular thing, of getting into the habit of doing that thing. And you can also pray to the master that while I'm in this inward journey, whatever solutions are there, please keep guiding me as and when I close my eyes and I go into a trance with you as my connection, so that I know that further solutions, further breakdowns can be guided by you for me to implement and make my life a much better life. Now, this could be something about your health. It could be something about your fitness. It could be something about your nutrition. It could be something about your meditation. It could be anything. It could be also like you wanted to learn car driving and this is what you have been given. Remember, the way food nourishes the body, meditation is food for the soul, for the mind. When you meditate, the monkey mind is kind of quiet because the subconscious mind is taking precedence. So at this given juncture, let's thank our subconscious mind, which is storing lives and lives and lives worth memories, eons of lives. And maybe each tap into these memories to erase the trauma, to find the blessings, just like Andrea found so much of love in her past life and she brought more of it in this life. May all of us be blessed with the beautiful things from our past life into this life. May we all be more nurtured, and may we keep nurturing and nurturing not only ourselves, but people around us. May we all become divine channels of consciousness, of love, of light, and of spreading abundance. And with this beautiful blessing, let's bow our heads in gratitude to the masters who've given us the solutions, and thank our master in our own language. However you wish to thank, please thank. Let's thank Dr. Weiss for bringing his beautiful studies, his analogies, his wonderful practices come live in front of us with the dialogues, with the way he's articulated this book. Let's thank this beautiful Zoom session platform for us to come back together in these spiritual mornings from whichever part of the world we are in. Let's thank the environment we are seated in, the ambience, the noiseless or the noiseful atmosphere that you are in, knowing that our inner work is continuing so beautifully. Let's thank all the people in our lives who have probably made it quiet for us this morning. Maybe they've just walked as if on air. Maybe they've closed doors as if so lightly as though we don't get disturbed. Let's thank the light for it allowed the session, our gadgets to be on. Let's thank our gadgets, maybe mobile phones or laptops or computers, where we could see each other, where we could hear each other. Let's thank this beautiful morning for blessing us with so much of more love and light in our body. And let's thank our energy body, mental body, emotional body for detoxing all the hardships. And let's thank the hardships that they came in our life to teach us a lesson. But have we learned the lesson from it? So today, when you go back after the session to your normal life, if possible before that, journal. What are the challenges I faced and what are the lessons I learned? And have we genuinely learned the lesson and not repeating the same mistake again? Otherwise, the same challenge will come again in our life until we learn the lesson. So let's bow and fold our hands and thank all the lessons learned, all the lessons to be learned, all the magical, divine, cosmic guidance. Be grateful for everything from your heart. Feel the love and the energy from your heart coming into every cell, molecular fiber of your being. And let's become channels of light by emitting that light from every pore of our being. Feel that you're seated right now in a 7 feet golden globe of light. It's 7 feet above you, 7 feet on your sides. In totality, it's so much more. 7 above, 7 below, and you in the middle. So imagine how big the globe is. And this light is love and light and your blessings to the world. So this globe will disintegrate and keep spreading light of your consciousness. Let's all become channels of love and light. Let's be thankful to all the masters, angel guides, sages, protectors for protecting us in this beautiful, magical morning in our let go and accepting and manifesting meditation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's rub our hands. Feel the energy, the tingling. Bless your eyes first. Your full face. Your head, neck, shoulders, arms, up to down, down to up, front to back to front. Your chest, stomach, thighs, upper, knees, calves, ankles, feet, and turn around, touch your backside of your legs, your hips, your back, lower back, middle back, front back, and gently open your eyes. And now let's bless each one and become channels of love, light, and blessings. So lots of blessings to each one of us who are on the screen, off the screen, intertwined with us magically or however. And keep blessing until you feel the tingling in your palms. Once the tingling stops, which means you can put your hands back in place. This tingling is energy flow, the blessings that you are giving because you've asked to become a channel of blessings. So be blessed, everybody. Be blessed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If anybody wants to share something or ask something, you can just raise your hand and I'm going to be happy to unmute you. If anybody has any sharings. And if you're enjoying and basking in the meditation and whatever, then more power to you. I think, Madhuri, you want to say something? I've asked you to unmute. Just it'll be popping on your screen, so just unmute. Thank you, Rinku. Thank you for your gratitude.
थैंक यू मैम कनेक्टिंग मी। मैम कल के सेशन के बाद मुझे बहुत लाइट फील हो रहा है, क्योंकि कल की मेडिटेशन के बाद मेरे को लगा जैसे मेरे बॉडी में से कुछ निकल गया, क्योंकि बहुत दिन से आई वाज इन ट्रबल। कुछ मेरी फैमिली प्रॉब्लम्स चल रही थी, जिसकी वजह से मेरे में बार बार एक अनकॉन्शियसली आई वाज, मतलब मेरे को बार बार एक थॉट प्रोसेस है जिसकी वजह से मैं एक बाउंड फील कर रही हूँ। मुझे ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा था कि मैं उससे निकलूं कैसे।
So कल आपको निकलने में हेल्प मिला?
हेल्प मिली बहुत
Beautiful.
ज्यादा।
Beautiful.
हाँ
So
जी।
keep being in touch with yourself, your masters, your angels, your soul, and all the problems that you have, no Madhuri, they will
हाँ
just
जी।
diminish away. जैसे हम कपड़े निकालते हैं ना, एक्सेस
हाँ
कपड़े
जी।
विंटर्स निकाल के समर्स के कपड़ों में आते हैं, वैसा लाइटनेस लगेगा एट एवरीडे लेवल। बिकॉज हम रियलाइज करें चाहे नहीं रियलाइज करें, रोज हमारे अंदर हीलिंग हो रही है। एक तो ये पोर्टल्स खुले हुए हैं विच आर एब्सोल्युटली मैजिकल। द एनर्जी इज अ लॉट मोर देन नॉर्मल टाइम्स. So that is also like, just, I was just guided 3 days before first कि I have to do this session. 3 दिन का time is all I had. I said, doesn't matter. Whoever comes, whoever is meant to come, they're going to come to us for healing. And I'm not doing anything. I'm just a channel, just the way you are. So whatever blockages you're holding in your body, which are resulting into this emotional burst, let them flow. Aansu aa rahe, just cry. You're releasing. And I'm so proud of you that कल आपकी healing हुई and आप उसको recognize कर रहे हैं.
बट मैम क्या होता है कि कई बार आपकी फीलिंग क्या होती है किसी और से जुड़ी हुई होती है, लाइक मैं कुछ फील कर रही हूँ या मेरी कोई बाउंडेशन है, वो कनेक्टेड टू अदर है, कि मेरा कोई काम नहीं हो रहा बिकॉज ऑफ somebody is not agree with। तो उस चीज के लिए मैं अपने आप को, या उस चीज के लिए मैं कैसे मैनिफेस्ट करूं कि सब चैनलाइज हो जाए चीजें।
बहुत सिंपल है। जो इंसान अड़चन डाल रहा है, प्रॉब्लम डाल रहा है, ऐसा आपको लग रहा है, उसके लिए आप ब्लेसिंग्स भेजो, that
ओके।
may you be divinely guided into the right action.
ओके।
जब हम ब्लेसिंग्स भेजते हैं, जो चीज, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, some people left the group. There are about 10 groups of WhatsApp. It's such a big community of ours. And I blessed them all because they've had their learning. It's not that I'm judging them. Why have you left? आपको sessions ही मिल रहे हैं complimentary. I mean, I'm just giving you a very small example. I don't even know. I mean, 80% people I don't even know, right?
या
But in your life, you know this person, and आपको लग रहा है कि ये अड़ास डाल रहा है, ये बीच में प्रॉब्लम डाल रहा है, ये नहीं करा जो मैं चाहती हूँ.
हाँ जी।
तो आप उस बात को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करें that there is difference between him and you and your opinions.
Okay.
But what should happen should be divinity inspired. So जो हो सबके लिए अच्छा हो, मेरे लिए भी, दूसरों के लिए भी, for my higher self, for others, and bless him and become a channel of love and light, and you will see him or her do exactly what you want, if that's a divine solution. And believe me, Madhuri, if it happens the way you want, be blessed. But if it doesn't happen your way, be even more blessed, because there's some learning for you.
ओके।
हम सोचते हैं, हमारा ईगो हमें सोचने में मजबूर करता है कि जो मैंने सोचा है वो ही बेस्ट सोल्यूशन है। पर हमारी सोल को पता है कि एट द मोमेंट माधुरी या इसके लिए रेडी नहीं है, तो अभी मैं इसको अनफोल्ड नहीं होने दूंगा.
ओके।
So be blessed and trust the process. The universe has our back. Always affirm that, know that in your heart.
ओके।
And I'm sure you will start rationalizing, अपने आप सोचने लगेंगे आप, and अपने आप आपको हिम्मत भी आएगी, लव भी आएगा, अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी आएगी, and आप एक्सेप्टेंस के मोड में भी ज्यादा आएंगे. Lots of love to you. May the healing happen to you also, and to the person, whoever is in your life, who's right now becoming the reason for this. Yeah.
थैंक यू। थैंक यू मैम।
Thank you so much. Yes, wonderful. All right. Anybody else has anything to say? Anything, any sharing? If yes, you can, okay, there's something on the chat box. Okay, so yes, these sessions वो किताबें इंग्लिश में हैं, so obviously हम इंग्लिश में पढ़ेंगे. हाँ, ट्रांसलेशन आई विल ट्राई जितना हो सके हिंदी में. इस बार आई डोंट थिंक ऐसा कोई भी है जिसको हिंदी नहीं आती, तो हम डेफिनेटली वी कैन ट्राई अ लिटिल मोर इन हिंदी. तो थैंक यू फॉर द रिमाइंडर. कल के सेशन से इवन इनफैक्ट यूट्यूब पे भी किसी ने लिखा था कि थोड़ा हिंदी में ज्यादा सेशन समझाएं. सो यस, आई विल ट्राई. मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में ज्यादा कल से ट्राई करूंगी. Thank you everybody. See you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, 6 a.m. And keep going inwards. Thank you so much. Thank you, Meenakshi, for your love.